Hello everyone, welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, I get this question frequently. I've gotten this question actually quite a bit since the passage of Senate Bill 5078, known as the High Capacity Magazine Ban, known to you and I as the Standard Capacity Magazine Ban. And the question is, hey, I live in Spokane, I live in Vancouver, Washington, and I'm frequently crossing the state lines. Perhaps the range that I frequently attend is across state lines. What is going to happen to me on July 1st? So today we will spend a few minutes and talk about, can I cross the Washington state line with a high capacity magazine? Okay, before we get rolling, you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to stay up to date on issues related to your Second Amendment rights, click the subscribe button, click the little bell logo if you want to be notified when we post new videos. And most importantly, let's keep the comments and discussions coming. Now, the issue that we're going to be talking about today, and I want to thank one of our loyal viewers named Charlie. Charlie was kind enough to call me a couple of days ago, and we actually had a conversation. Charlie resides just on the other side of the Idaho state line. He is an Idaho resident. Now, Charlie is also a proud member of the Spokane Rifle Club, which I have had the pleasure of speaking at that facility, and that is an incredible facility that they have out there on the Spokane River out in the East Valley. So Charlie frequently will go to the Spokane Rifle Club to shoot. And for those of you familiar, I had the pleasure of living in Spokane. If you live in the Coeur d'Alene area, Post Falls area, anything like that, you can get to Spokane pretty quick, especially out to the valley there. So it's not a particularly long commute. Charlie, of course, owns several firearms that standard capacity magazines for them far exceeds the 10 rounds like all other lawful and responsible gun owners. Now, what comes of July 1st when Charlie wants to take his AR-15 or some handguns that have 15, 17 round magazines with them, wants to take them to the Spokane Rifle Club like he has for many, many years, and go shooting, and then, of course, when he's done, he'll pack up his gear and go back home to Idaho? Is Charlie in violation of the soon-to-be Senate Bill 5078 once enacted into law come July 1st? That's the question we're going to answer today. Okay, so first, let's talk about the applicable law, because under Senate Bill 5078, a new law in RCW 9.41 will be created, which will read, no person in this state may manufacture, import, distribute, sell, or offer for sale any large capacity magazine except as authorized in this section. And so the term that Charlie and everyone else is getting caught up on is the term import, okay? Is he, by bringing the magazines into the state of Washington, engaged in the illegal act of importing high-capacity magazines, even though his intent is to take them back home to Idaho? And then, of course, on the flip side, we would probably want to take a look at what happens when a person lives in Spokane or Vancouver, but their gun range is across state lines in either Idaho or Oregon. If they take their high-capacity magazines from Washington State across state lines and then come back into Washington State possessing those magazines, are they now engaged in the unlawful act of importing high-capacity magazines? Well, all of this hinges on what does import really mean under RCW 9.41. And yes, Senate Bill 5078 did create a new section. It amended many sections of RCW 9.41.010, which for those of you who've been geeking out on this channel for a while now, you know that's our definitional section in our Firearms Act. What does the new RCW 9.41010 subsection 38 read? Well, it defines import as follows. Import means to move, transport, or receive an item from a place outside the territorial limits of the state of Washington to a place inside the territorial limits of the state of Washington. Import does not mean situations where an individual possesses a large capacity magazine when departing from and returning to Washington State, so long as the individual is returning to Washington in possession of the same large capacity magazine that the individual transported out of state. And so, for once, the state legislature has actually defined the activity that is lawful here. So yes, for anybody such as Charlie or anyone else, if you are bringing magazines into the state, let's say you bring 10 different high capacity magazines to go shooting in our state, and after you are done, you leave with all 10 of those magazines, those exact magazines, you have not imported anything. Now, you have transported, but as you know, if we take a look again at what the statute says right here, transporting of high-capacity magazines, at least under this law, is not unlawful. Now, what is also not unlawful, if we again take a look at the law, is although we see importing is unlawful, exporting is not. So, for those of us who live in Spokane, let's take Charlie's situation and reverse it. He lives out in the Spokane Valley. He likes to go out to Coeur d'Alene to shoot. So he now leaves the state with a high-capacity magazine. Is he in the act of exporting? Well, technically he's not, because the magazine's going to be coming back. Importing is the exact opposite of exporting. If importing is to take something from outside the state of Washington and bring it inside the state of Washington, guess what exporting is? It's taking it from the state of Washington and moving it out, but leaving it there. And so in that situation, Charlie is, of course, going to be bringing the magazine back to the state of Washington when he's done shooting in Coeur d'Alene. He would not be engaged in the act of importing. Under this definition, he would not be importing that high-capacity magazine because it was a high-capacity magazine that he previously possessed on his way out of the state. So the bottom line is come July 1st of 2022, can you leave the state and come back with high-capacity magazines? Yes, you can. And if you are fortunate enough to live outside of our state, and you decide to come into our state with high-capacity magazines, are you violating the law? No, you are not, so long as you take all of those high-capacity magazines back with you. Now, if you come in from the state of Idaho with 20 high-capacity magazines and leave with 15, now you have unlawfully imported at least 5 magazines. But if they all go back with you under the clear definition actually drafted by the Washington State Legislature, that would not be a violation of the law. Listen, I know you guys are going to have way more questions about Senate Bill 5078 and how does it apply in this situation or that situation. We'll continue to do more videos on it, but if you have any questions in the meantime, you can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe. Hey everyone, Bill here with Washington Gun Law. Thanks a million for watching. We just crossed 32,000 subscribers, so thanks a million. And yes, I owe all of you a live session because for those of you who were kind enough to tune in on April 4th, you know everything was going smooth until this guy got involved with the technical side of things and screwed it all up. But I did promise you that I was going to make it up, and so we're going to try this again Monday, April 18th at 7 p.m. That's Monday, April 18th, 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. Now that's 7 p.m. Pacific time. We will have lots to talk about, especially all of this new stuff with the 80% lowers coming out of the Biden administration, ATF, Department of Justice, as well as other things going on with the state of Washington and our wonderful legislature. So I apologize for April 4th. We are going to give it another whirl. April 18th, I'll probably bring a tech guy in so that I don't screw it up. So we'll see you live April 18th, 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. In the meantime, stay safe.